Thank you for having us today and allowing us the opportunity to present on the Community Liaison Program through ADEQ. I'm going to go ahead and share the presentation here. Let me know if anybody has any issues seeing that or hearing me. I have been nominated by my team to give the presentation today about the ADEQ Community Liaison Program. I am the Southeast Arizona Community Liaison. My name is Melissa Hayes, and the rest of our team is going to be presenting here shortly to introduce themselves so you all can get familiar with who we are and what we can offer assistance with. ADEQ had assigned in the past 6 community liaisons to cover the 15 counties in Arizona. Our team can be a really helpful resource for you with environmental questions. ADEQ established our positions, the community liaison positions, in August of 2000. And ADEQ's leadership saw the need to bring advocacy and service to rural Arizona by placing knowledgeable and helpful staff where they can be closer to the communities they serve and have more frequent direct contact with our customers. Among other things, our team, the community liaisons, can coordinate with the ADEQ programs to answer questions and concerns from the local governments, regulated community, public, and citizen groups. And so certainly all of you on this call too, we definitely can provide assistance to. And that can be on things like environmental permits, outreach on grant opportunities or other funding opportunities, information on ADEQ programs and initiatives. If you have compliance questions, I know you have your compliance assistance coordinators and they're definitely the resource to go to. But if there are questions on things outside of water or wastewater, such as air, recycling, underground storage tanks, or if for some reason you can't reach somebody in ADEQ, we would be happy to help with that. So we are going to do a few introductions here shortly. I did want to let you know too, though, that our team interacts with all of the ADEQ programs on a regular basis. And so we may not be subject matter experts on everything. There's no possible way we could be, but we definitely can get you in contact with the programs if we don't have the response that you're looking for. And we can get you to the programs to get you the information that you're looking for. A little background then. I'm going to start on some introductions and then we will each go through and introduce ourselves. Again, my name is Melissa Hayes. Let me take us through here. I am the Southeast Arizona Community Liaison, so I cover Cochise, Graham, Greenlee, and Santa Cruz counties. I've been with ADEQ for 23 years. I started in the liaison position in 2009. And at the time I was covering Western Arizona, Yuma and La Paz counties. And I covered those areas as community liaison through 2017. And at that point, I was asked to cover Southeast Arizona. So I started working there instead. Prior to being a community liaison, I was a community involvement coordinator for our state Superfund program, or what you might have heard of before called our WARF program, Water Quality Assurance Revolving Fund. And I did that for 9 years. I've worked on border projects, a lot of things going on in the border region. And one of those things that I had helped with was there were some sanitary sewer overflows that were coming from Naco, Sonora on the Mexico side and were having an impact to Arizona. And I helped on the project to mitigate those. So one of the things I do see that's a common thread of the need for assistance in Southeast Arizona is on wastewater infrastructure and issues. And so that's something that I'm starting to get more familiar with and definitely can put you in contact with program staff on that if there are needs that you have along those lines. My educational background is I have a Bachelor of Science in Environmental Science with a biology emphasis and a Bachelor of Arts in Spanish from Northern Arizona University, NAU in Flagstaff. And so I've worked, though, a lot in ADEQ with collaborating among multiple parties. And I'll give you an example of that a little bit later of a recent some recent assistance that I had provided for a facility in my coverage area. I am somewhat familiar with some of the funding agencies and can put you in contact with those. We have a slide a little bit later on a group that's really helpful for water and wastewater infrastructure issues where you might need some funding or technical assistance. And I want to continue to work to foster positive relationships between ADEQ and the communities. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Manny Bowler to do her introduction.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Manny Bowler, and my service area is northeastern Arizona. So my service area is Apache, Navajo, and Gila counties. And I am actually the newest member to the CL team, and I'm the team lead. My background in education is I have a bachelor's in business administration and a master's in government administration with an emphasis on policy. This is actually my second go around at ADEQ. I had worked with ADEQ from 2005 to 2010, where I worked with children's environmental health. And I wove that program into the agency so that the different value streams of different divisions would look at schools and childcare centers and when they were doing reviews on permits and things. My background is really 25 years of grassroots community advocacy in the private sector, nonprofit, and government. I have lots of rural government experience, and I'm a resource navigator and a connector. That's kind of where my background has been. They asked us to talk a little bit about some of the special projects we're working on. In Northeast
Manny, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you. I think that I'm not sure if your camera is on.
It says it's on. Oh.
Okay, thank you.
Nope, maybe not. Is it on now?
Yes, thanks.
Oh, perfect. Y'all didn't really want to see me anyway. Interesting project. So in northeastern Arizona, since I'm new, what I did is I went around and I met everybody. And I realized in my conversations that in my area, there's a lot of new operators and a lot of operators that are seasoned and they're going to be retiring soon. And so I want to work on creating a pipeline of training and working with the NPC, the Northland Pioneer College, and ADEQ to bring together some training or to bring more in-person training so that PDHs are easier to get. A lot of people said that they would like to meet in person instead of always doing everything online, and so that's what I'm working on. We also are working on a special project with the drinking water team. We are helping the drinking water team with pre-inspection visits, so that when your drinking water system comes up for renewal or an inspection, you have the information of the inspection requirements before, and we get to meet you and talk about your system. So those are the things that we're working on. Melissa, I think I'm going to turn the time over to Morgan. Is that what the agenda says, right? So Morgan,
Hi, Manny, thank you.
Let me turn it over to you.
Great, thanks, Manny. I'm Morgan O'Connor. I'm the community liaison for Coconino and Yavapai counties. I've been with the agency for 4 years, and my past experience, I worked for the railroad for over a decade. working as the Director of Environmental Affairs. My current position here with ADEQ that lends itself to this group here that's attending. I do proctor a lot of OpCert practice exams. We actually have one coming up on December 15th. So this is always a good way to get PDHs. And that will be held at the Riverfront Road in Cottonwood, the Reclamation Center in Cottonwood. We have 2 sessions on the 15th, the morning session and an afternoon session. So if you're in need for a practice exam and you'd like to join us in Cottonwood, please reach out to me. I'll put my email in the chat so that you folks, if you're in need, you can do some practice exams and get PDHs. A lot of my interface with the community is similar to my colleagues here. You know, each one of us has unique issues in our areas, and so I am community facing and engaging all the time. And so I'd like to be a resource to this group. I'm also working with Manny on the pilot project. So some of these operators that I recognize in the audience today, I'll be reaching out to you if I haven't already, so that I can help with resources so that you can be prepared for your sanitary surveys. We have another member of our team who's not available to participate today. That's Len Drago. He's our ombudsman and the liaison for Maricopa County. Len has been with the agency for quite a long time, and he administers ADEQ's Voluntary Environmental Stewardship Program. And this is where we recognize the regulated community for having 3 years of no violations. So that is something that each one of the liaisons participate in, and recognizing those who have a great compliance history for 3 years. And with that, I think I'll pass it over to Jaime Hernandez. Jaime?
I unmute myself. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay, great. Hey everyone, my name is Jaime Hernandez. I'm the community liaison for the Western counties. That's Mojave, La Paz, and Yuma. And I am currently at a contingency place for holding this meeting because my normal area was too noisy, so my apologies. Anyways, before being a community liaison, I worked in air quality. So I put in over 12 years in air quality permitting and compliance, did some rule development. So that was fun and all. But before that, I actually worked in manufacturing. So I worked a process line, a rolling mill, an EBI 2K mill, and so I was very used to process lines, right? Manufacturing, some process improvement, ISO type of requirements. And then 4 years ago, I got an opportunity to start with ADEQ, and come to find out that the Arizona management system is all about processes. So it's very interesting that I am actually pulling more from my manufacturing days and my air quality days as in my day-to-day activities here at ADEQ. A little of the back of the counter thing that at ADEQ, every activity, all the work that we do, we organize them as processes, right? So in that way, we can visualize what the process is, how it's going along its steps, and we can also manage improvement, right? So that's my that's my strength, the actual process part. But I actually also love going out to the community and being an advocate for everyday folk that really have sometimes difficulty reaching an appropriate point of contact, right? And that's about it. Who's next on the line? It was Roxanne, but she's not in.
Yeah, we're going to have Manny go ahead and review some information for a colleague of ours who was not able to be here today as well. Thanks, Jaime. And Manny, I'm going to go ahead and unmute you. It looks like you'll have to unmute on your end, Manny. We're not hearing you. There we go. Let's try that.
Roxanne was not able to be with us today. She is the one that covers Pinal and Gila counties. I'm sorry, Pinal and Pima counties. I'm sorry about that. And she graduated from the U of A with a bachelor's in interdisciplinary science and chemical engineering, chemistry, and atmospheric sciences. She worked with ADEQ for over 13 years from the Tucson office. She also became a CL in 2009 with Roxanne, with Melissa. And she's been covering Pima County since 2009 and Pinal County since 2017. Her skills are connecting the dots, compliance, air quality, planning, and data analysis. While working at ADEQ, she's worked on the truck stop electrification project, working on legislation, and creating the county demographics dashboard. She's a whiz when it comes to legislative stuff too. Interesting topics that she's worked on is the Wildflower public water system. Last summer had a pump failure and over 60 residents were going to be without water, and it was in the summertime. And so she worked really hard to get that drinking water system some water for their clients in a hurry while they were getting their pump fixed. Town of Kearney, she's helped with some brownfields efforts in doing assessments and abating of asbestos. And even though she has all these different skill sets, she's a well-respected team member, and she does a lot of stuff behind the scenes to make us all look good and be connected with legislative items that impact our community so that we can share this information with you all before it actually hits the papers and stuff. So we're sorry she couldn't be here today. Melissa, I think it's back to you, right?
Yeah, thanks, Manny. I'm going to go ahead and show an example. Oops. That I actually recently had in my coverage area. So we wanted to kind of show an example for you so you can get a feel for some of the things that we can help with as community liaisons. There was actually a mobile home park in my coverage area, and I was contacted by a complainant. There was an issue with the septic system in the park, and as a result, they also were having issues with their drinking water system that was regulated by the local municipality. The owner was really wanting to fix things and had made some steps forward to do that, but needed assistance. And so one of the things that I had done was I pulled together a big group of people from the local municipalities, the property owner, and also a funding entity to try to look at solving short and long-term solutions, finding short and long-term solutions for this. We all had the same goal to solve the issue. We wanted to make sure that the public health and the environment was protected. And we just needed to come together and talk and problem solve and look at ways to do that. And we did come to a resolution, both for short-term and long-term. In the short term, the owner actually installed a new septic system. The other one was just beyond repair. And at the time, the park had just porta potties as a way to obviously manage wastewater. But the owner did go ahead and install a new septic system. And then that give some time for the municipality to work long-term with the funding agency to go ahead and look to hook up that area, and not just the mobile home park, but other properties in that area, to potentially hook them up to the municipal sewer. And that process can be longer, that can take some time, but we did look at both short-term and long-term, and as a result, there's now wastewater and drinking water services back at that park. So that was a great success. And we were hoping that the owner was here today to be able to speak, but he had a conflict come up. But he wanted to tell you firsthand on how we all worked together and came to this resolution. So just an example of some of the things the liaisons can help with in situations like that that might be relevant for you. And also quickly, we wanted to give you some examples. This is a really great avenue when you need assistance for water or wastewater infrastructure. And some of you may have heard of this, the Rural Water Infrastructure Committee, or the Water Infrastructure Finance Authority of Arizona actually oversees this, but it's a conglomerate of different entities who can help with either funding assistance or technical assistance. And that can be sometimes in the form of loans or grants that come up. And it can be for things like, for example, if you're looking that your storage tank for your area is starting to degrade and you need to do some rehab for it, but you can't find the funding to do that, or you need some guidance on how to do that technically. These groups that are in this RIC, we call it, the RWIC, can help to provide information on that. They have on their website, and I put the link there and also a screenshot there for you. They have a funding and technical assistance resource matrix, which is really helpful. So you can kind of get a feel for types of things that they help to provide assistance for. Usually the first step is to fill out the project information form, which is a simple one-page form. You can send it in through the RIC and they'll take a look at it. They may ask you to come to a meeting to give them a little more information on the type of assistance you're looking for. And then they talk amongst each other and see who can provide what assistance to help you out. And we know that's really important for areas where there's small rural areas and not a lot of income. But any of these areas for these small communities, you can definitely apply and see if they can provide assistance. And they often help leverage, like you can get assistance from one and that helps leverage assistance from another. We as community liaisons can help you get in touch with this RIC. So that was a lot of information, but we will open it up now for any questions.
Hi, Melissa. I don't think we have any questions for you at this time. The only question we had was, has Manny Bowler taken over for Byron James, and are the phone numbers the same?
Manny, I'll let you talk to that point. It looks like you've got to unmute though on your end. There we go.
Thanks for that question. Yes, Byron did retire in July of this year, and I was hired in February so that Byron could mentor me for that transition. But so I cover his area, plus I'm the team lead. So does that answer the question?
Yes, it does. And not really a question, but more of a comment. Adam Dable did say Morgan has been a great resource for me. Please don't move him to another area.
Thank you for
I
that
appreciate the
input.
kind. Thank you.
And I did put this last slide here is a link to our contact information, and it shows it by region for you. There's a map here too that you can click on that also gets to our information in case you need to reach us. Thank you again very much for having us today.
Yeah, thank you guys for that presentation.